Hello, everyone. This is a Jenkins Platform SIG meeting. Today we're on the May 6th. Too bad I can't do the May 4th joke. And we have around the table Giovanni Vaccarino, Hervé Lemeur, Mark Waite, Kenneth. Really? Oh, he joined. Cool. Kevin Martins and Birajit. Not yet. We'll see if he joins us later. On the agenda today, I have a few things to say about the switch to default containers to use Java 21, the end of support for Java 11. Yes, again. Java 25, that's quite a gap between 11 and 25. Container image updates for the Jenkins controllers, for the Jenkins agents, and the work in progress on images. We are quite a few people in this meeting. Is there anything you would like to add to this agenda? No?
That
Okay.
looks good to me. Thanks.
Yeah, hopefully it will fit within 30 minutes. So, first of all, Mark, it was a proposal from you, I think, which was to switch the default containers to use Java 21. I think we heard a few things in the community forums and all, or maybe even on GitHub metrics. People say, oh, that's kind of strange. There is an administrative monitor saying that I'm out of date. What is it about Java 17? So, we took the decision to move to Java 17, but I think you were the one who started all this, right?
Yes, and it's made the change today. So
Yeah, I think you, yeah.
Today's container, I'm just testing it now, but today's container image, as far as I can tell, for the latest, I'll do a bunch more testing to be sure, but it looks like we've made it for the container.
At least it's in the changelog. I haven't tested yet, but it's in the changelog.
And that's what I'm doing now, is I'm running tests. So I'm testing to see.
Thanks a lot. So yes, people using the default image without, precise version, just the latest now, should have Java 21 by default. And so get rid of this administrative monitor saying that, maybe you should switch your Java version. That's pretty cool. Thanks a lot, Mark. So that's the PR you created a few weeks ago that got merged earlier and delivered with the latest release. We still have to do so for the SSH agent image and inbound agent image, if I'm not mistaken. I had a look earlier and it looked like we don't have the PR yet. That's it. Thank you. So, of course, we're talking about Java 21 and we stopped the support at Java 11 quite a while ago. It was a 2.479.x. So definitely, if you're still using Java 11, please stop and go to Java 17 or 21. Now, we have an unofficial campaign to update plugins to JDK 11 and 17. It's still going on, but I would say that the most part of it is already done. We are using a tool called the Jenkins Plugin Modernizer tool to help us crafting automatic PRs. And most of the plugin repository that are still heavily maintained have already gone to JDK 11 or even 17. For all the other ones that haven't done the job yet, hope is a good thing to have, hope. But I don't think they will make it. Most of them won't make it. So far, we have 670 automatic PRs created, but only 247 got merged. And as long as we progress, we'll see that less and less plugin maintainers will chime in and review them, merge them, or close them. So they will stay stale, I would say. And that's a thing we should accept. Maybe one day we'll discuss that maybe later, but maybe one day we'll have to make the cut and say goodbye to those old plugins without an active maintainer that are still using JDK 8 or even 6 for some of them. Anyhow, we have an initiative called the Community Plugin Maintainers Initiative. It has not been launched yet. We will do a beta test, hopefully by the end of the year. And the goal at the beginning was maybe to use the move to JDK 17. But I think it was Basil who proposed that we use move to JDK 25 for the top 250 most installed plugins. That's a much bigger return on investment than trying to move very old and not installed anywhere plugins to JDK 17. So that's why we're doing so. But for the time being, it still hasn't started. We are still discussing it. We'll see where this goes. Now, on the other side of the spectrum, Java 25. So Temurin has been supplying JDK 25 early access binaries for quite a while now. And I think a few weeks earlier, we said that maybe they weren't up to date when we compare to the standard build OpenJDK, which is delivered with standard Linux distributions. But I was wrong. That's because I was only looking at the Temurin JDK 25 binaries GitHub repo. And yes, of course, this repo is not up to date. But when you use the Temurin API, then you can see that they are up to date with OpenJDK. So that's not a problem anymore. We were thinking of moving the infra, or at least supplying our Jenkins core maintainers and plugin maintainers with the early access version of the JDK 25, but it's not the case yet because the infrastructure team has so many things to do that they can't cope with installing JDK 25 for the time being. So maybe next week, maybe by the end of June, we'll see. I won't make any promise. So yes, it's back into triage, the issue created in the help desk. I told you earlier, so we are trying with this community plugins maintainers initiative to get the 250 most installed plugins to work with JDK 25. And for the time being, it doesn't work, of course. These plugins just can't compile with JDK 25 for the time being, and of course, that's normal. That's perfectly normal. We'll do a few things here and there to get them to work. So Basil spotted lots of things already. An incompatibility with the license plugin, but also all that is linked to static analysis. That doesn't work yet because ASM, for example, has to be updated to support the latest JDK version before we can integrate it into our product and then having the plugins to compile. So it won't work tomorrow. It's a long-term goal, and we'll see what we can do. For the time being, when we get rid of the static analysis, when we get rid of the license plugin, some of these 250 plugins compile with JDK 25. But as soon as you put back the static analysis and or license and so on, of course, it fails. Mark, you tested with me the other day the Git client plugin, and it compiled with Java 25 without the license plugin and static analysis, which is pretty encouraging. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually not terribly frightened by it. I think it's going to work out.
Yeah, I hope so. No, I know it will because we have very skilled people in the team, and of course, in the end, this will be just a piece of cake. I can't repeat exactly what Basil said, but that's something. Whenever I have a slice of bread and a cup of coffee in the morning, I can upgrade the plugin to Java 24 without even switching. You know, it's easy for Basil and others, so it's just a matter of time. We'll have to wait. We're still early in the phase of JDK 25, and of course, all the dependencies we import are not ready yet. But time will come. Thanks, Mark. Would you have any questions, comments, remarks on what I've just said? No.
No, thanks very much.
You're welcome. Now, on to container image updates for the Jenkins controller. So we had a release of an LTS last week, the 504.1. Thanks a lot to Chris Stern for being the release lead, and she's still the release lead this week for the 504.2, which will happen on 28th of May this year. So thanks a lot. As for the weeklies, we had 2 weeklies since 2 weeks, of course. There is one breaking change. Thanks a lot, Mark. I think it's because of you, or thanks to you, I would say. We now use the JDK 21 as the default JDK instead of JDK 17. Yeah, no more administrative monitor. For the new features and improvements. So there was the pre-clear init groovy D, which had the ability to pre-clear the init groovy D folder. I saw earlier, Mark, that you participated in this PR also. So could you tell us a few words about this one?
It's a feature that somebody needed. It had sat open for an extended period, and Damien decided that it was time to merge it.
Oh, I hadn't seen it started in 200. Oh, even before the COVID. Okay.
I
Uh,
don't
th-
remember how long ago it started, but yeah, 2021. So yes, it's
yeah,
a long time.
2019.
Yep.
I thought it was something recent when I saw it earlier today. I
No, no,
didn't imagine.
it took a long time for us to get this one in.
So sorry, it was not a trap trying to get you to remember something that happened 6 years ago. Thank you, Mark. Wow. Kenneth, each and every time you come in and say, "Oh, your PR will be merged one of these days," I hope it won't take 6 years for us to merge it. Anyhow. Now, for the dependency update, there were a few bumps here and there. Update CLI, of course, would just change anything for the end user. The Debian Bookworm Linux, UB9. Thank you, Mark, by the way, for I think you changed the version of UB9 because the script I wrote did not work anymore. So you had to do it manually, right? Yeah.
Right.
Thank you. And you corrected my script, by the way. Thanks a lot.
Well, and you've looked at the script, right? Because I'm not sure I got it right.
Yep.
So be sure you
Yeah, yeah.
carefully. Thanks.
I checked it. Visually, it looked okay, and it even ran correctly. So I'm more than happy. I don't know what changed in the API, if we can call that an API, because it's a mess. But whatever. Thank you. And of course, we now use the latest version of JTK 21 and 17, and some end user will be really happy, not being worried by their security advisor or something, saying, "Oh, there's a CVE in your Docker image because of the version of Java you're using." That's not the case anymore. We use the latest Java version, which don't add that CVE. For the Jenkins agent, so we now have two new versions of the SSH agent with only version bumps, so nothing major. And we have three new releases for the Docker agent. So we had documentation update, thanks to you again, Mark. Wow. With the example change to use the most recent JDK versions. For the Alpine version, for the JDK 17, and on and on and on. And we'll see later that we also have two pull requests linked to that. And we add the usual dependency updates with the bumps for lots of dependencies. We use a Jenkins remote thing version, Bookworm, UB9, GDK 17, and 21. Of course, I haven't spotted anything when it comes to the work in progress on images for the controller. For the Docker agent, Hervé, I think it's yours. The add a Windows test on long path with Git, right?
Yes, they do. I'm waiting for a new Git version to get this test passing because it will break with the current version.
Oh, okay.
It's the what we saw is that long path is broken in the last Git for Windows version. This test is intended to be created and added when there will be a new Git for Windows version fixing this issue.
Okay, thank you, Hervé. This one is mine. I have to redo it. It's not yet working. And Hervé, you did a big refactoring, a big, to me at least, refactoring of the way.
I suggest you to recreate your request on another hash punch. It will be far easier.
Yeah, I guess so. I tried, and it was difficult. So yeah, I'd better start from scratch. Thank you. We also have now the run update CLI once a day because things are changing quickly. And sometimes we are tempted to do things manually because the update CLI only runs on Monday, I think. And sometimes things happen on Monday night and we have to wait a whole week, and that's unbearable. So, two choices: do it by hand or run update CLI more frequently. So which was the second one? This one. So it was linked to the 981, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's the thing. Mark, you had to do a few manual updates to the documentation. And so let me show them in the README. Yeah. And Damien proposed that we do something with update CLI in order to not have to do that by hand. So I propose that it seems to work. I created on my fork a few PRs thanks to that. Of course, it could have been done in a much better way, but for the time being, that should do. So the documentation is now supposed to be updated when the thing will be merged automatically, which is pretty cool. And we also have the add missing target to JDK 17 manifest. Hervé, you spotted that earlier today because we didn't have UB9 Nano Server and Windows Server Core Docker files as targets of JDK 17. So now that's corrected, but it still has to be merged. Thanks a lot.
So we grouped the different target to use the files to run. So we don't have to get one target for one set with JDK 17 for each Docker file. I'm recording Linux version and Windows version. Since the Windows version don't need to get their plus replaced by an underscore.
The famous +_ problem. Yeah.
You might want to get a look at this one for yours.
Yeah. Thank you. I will see that later today. Thank you.
So it was a compliment to the request from Mark updating the documentation. I noticed that, yeah, the Java 17 argument was updated in RHEL UB9 version, Nano Server and Windows Server Core Docker files. Yeah, it was because there was no target for them.
Thank you, Hervé. And now for the Docker Assist agent, the very long-running PR from Kenneth. We don't have any other choice than being patient. So, well, December 31, 2024. Yeah, hopefully we'll get it merged before the end of the year. Kenneth, any comment, question?
No, just waiting. We're good.
Yeah, thanks. And yeah, the last thing I wanted to talk about very quickly is RISC-V. As you may know, we've been testing Jenkins with RISC-V for more than 2 years. It was already present at the FOSDEM 2023, if I'm not mistaken. At that time, we were only using a Jenkins agent on a RISC-V machine. But since then, we've made some progress. We now know that Jenkins can run on RISC-V as a controller. We can't compile Jenkins core on the RISC-V controller for the time being because of Node not being there. It's just for the front end of Jenkins. And it's still difficult to have a RISC-V machine with a working Docker engine on it. So yes, our tests are done, and we thank the Cloud5 organization for lending us an access to a RISC-V machine. And yeah, we're done for the time being. So RISC-V won't be a first-class citizen for Jenkins by the summer. That's for sure. Maybe end of the year. And we have so many other things to deal with that's not a major subject at all. It was more of a hobby than anything else. That's it. We made it to the end of the agenda. Would there be any other subjects you'd like to discuss today? I take that for a no. Thanks a lot for your time, folks. It was a joy to have all of you in there. The recording should be available from 24 to 48 hours, and we should see each other 2 weeks from now. Until then, have fun with Jenkins. Bye-bye.
Thanks, bye.
Bye.
Bye.